Hey guys, I'm back and I'm still in recovery mode, as you can see, but going to work next week to start up again. So haircut, shaved, ready to go. But I got Tato the Wonder Dog, best buddy here, to help me through it all. He's being a good boy. You being a good boy? Yeah? You just drinking water? More interested in drinking water right now. It's kind of a muggy, hot Florida day here. But I was thinking, what kind of video could I put up, you know, one-armed, that might be interesting in the meantime? And it hit me that I've been getting BattlBox for about a year now. And I gotta say this, I'm so sick of some of the haters accusing me of like being sponsored or getting free BattlBox to say good stuff. If I say good stuff about something, it's because I like it. Nobody gives me free anything and I'm not paid to do anything. Just because I don't talk shit or hate on everything doesn't mean I'm being paid to say something nice. There's plenty of stuff and plenty of boxes. Like the last DOP kit box I said was all novelty. There's like barely anything useful in it. Doesn't mean I hated the whole box. I thought some of it was funny. I thought that tactical toothbrush was one of the most ridiculous bullshit items I've ever seen. I thought the grenade deodorant, which by the way I tested it out, was the most inconvenient deodorant I've ever tried, but it was funny. The tactical nut scrubber, whatever, is funny. Doesn't mean it was a good item, but it doesn't mean I have to hate it. Anyway, just pissed me off, that's all. Yes, I am using the kids' playground equipment to do this video, by the way. Where you going, Tato? What are you doing, bro? Come on. All right. Oh, that's a good boy. That's a good boy. Okay. So anyway, the one part of BattlBox that never disappoints me is the knife of the month. And yeah, even in the DOP kit, the knife of the month was a little bit weird, but I loved it, and I've carried it around and I've messed around with it, and it has been a great knife. So I figured what I could do would be 1 year of knife of the month and take a look at all of the knives of the month that have arrived over the last year and sort of, I don't know, just review them all, just go over them all and see what they've sent and kind of what's been in each box. So we'll kind of mention each box, what the theme was, and look at the knife that came in it. And it won't be all in this format, so I'll just kind of introduce each knife, then we'll do kind of a close-up look at each knife and go over the specs and everything. So I'm looking at April 2016 to April 2017 as the year of BattlBox, but what I want to talk about, just throw in there, is when you sign up, you get like the initial entry box as your first box, like your welcome to BattlBox. And I don't know if they changed it, but my initial box came with the Kershaw Cryo 2, which is not a great knife, but it's a good knife. It's a Hinder design. It's certainly not the kind of materials and engineering that you get when you get a real Hinder, but Kershaw's it's a good brand. It's one of my favorite brands of knife, actually. So let's take a look at the Kershaw Cryo 2. So looking at the Kershaw Cryo 2, it's a smaller knife than other Hinders. It's 8CR13 MOV steel, so it's not made of the same high quality stainless steels that Hinders are made of, or even the ZT Hinder lineup, but it's a decent steel. It's not a great steel, but it's a decent steel. It uses Kershaw's SpeedSafe assist system, so it's got a spring assist that works pretty well and gives that nice snappy sound when it opens up. It's a good solid frame lock design. It's all stainless steel frame and handle. You can mount the clip for tip up, tip down, left or right hand carry. The blade is 3 1/4 inches long overall, 7 3/4 inches. It's 5.5 ounces. You got a lot of weight with all that steel on there. I found this online, Amazon Prime, you know, with free shipping, $26.54. So not a really high price knife either, but a good option for just an everyday carry. Just my big complaint is a little bit small in the hand for my taste. So the first box that we're going to look at was for April 2016. That was the blackout box, the EMP box. And that box came with a knife that, a brand I've never heard of before. That was Klecker Knives, and that was the Cordova Light, which was a very unique little knife. I don't know if it's showing up like right now very well because the camera's a little far away. It's not a great flipper. I'm not a huge fan of this one. It's not one of my favorites, but it's still a pretty interesting knife. I like it. I don't love it, but let's take a closer look at this guy. So the Cordova Light is the smaller version of the Cordova. They have a larger version of the same knife. The blade is, see, you see right there, I don't know if it's the particular knife I got. The flipper is not terribly effective on this one. And I'm gonna have to use my little chicken wing to try to get it to fold nicely. I've never been very successful at getting this thing to flip without using a little bit of wrist action in it. One of the most innovative parts about it, though, is this modified lockback system that they have that's built right into the frame of the knife. It's a nice design, though. It's got a classy look to it with the layered G10 inlays on the stainless steel handle. The blade is 12C27, so similar to the Swedish Sandvik stainless steel. I like that it has that little recurve in the blade. It's a very sharp blade right out of the box. Very nice. You have the tip up or tip down clip option, but you can't do left or right hand carry, so it's kind of stuck there. Nice job on the finishing touches, though. You know, you've got those bright brass accents if you're looking for kind of a stylish look to it. The handle is a slightly different grade of steel than the blade. It's 2CR13 stainless steel, but you've got stainless steel all throughout. This thing has a 2.88 inch blade with 6.81 inch overall length, and it weighs in at just about 3 ounces. So again, something that's a little small for my taste, but not bad for just a small little carry if you're looking for that. And hopefully, you know, some of their other knives do flip open better than this one does. I'm hoping that I just have kind of a bum flipper there, and that, you know, the rest operate a little bit better than that. A little lock system is cool, but as you can see right now, a little hard to do one-handed. So there's April. May was probably my least favorite knife of all. In fact, I gotta go back and say I've never been disappointed by the knife of the month. There is one knife of the month where I was actually kind of disappointed, and it is May 2016. That was the tacked up 2.0 box. I think in this case they went with, I don't know how to describe it, but it's the 511 double duty karambit. I like the knives that have a good function before form, you know, like something that's very useful, something that is tactile. I want them to look cool, but so this guy right here, I'm just not a huge fan of it. And then it's got this little blade on the other side, which I have not had any use for at all. And it looks kind of scary and looks like the kind of thing you'd want to get in a knife fight with, right? But let's just take a closer look at this guy. So the double duty karambit on the website for 511 Tactical and for all the places that I found that sells it doesn't list any stats for this little blade over here at all. So nothing. I don't know if it's the same blade steel as the main blade in terms of length. I don't know. It's very sharp though, and it's very nasty looking. One thing I don't like is that this lock here is really hard to use. Very often I have to wedge something in there to unlock this blade right there. It's really, really hard to unlock for some reason. Now again, I don't know if it's my knife specifically or if it's all of them. Again, let me try to work the little chicken wing in here. There we go. We're not going to talk about that little guy over there. We'll just talk about the main blade. It is very easy opening with this big thumb hole. Boss 8 steel, which I've said a few times on my channel. I don't mind it. I like it. I don't like or dislike it. I think it's a decent steel. I know there's a lot of people that don't like it. It's not actually uncomfortable. It's just a weird design to me. It fits in the hand pretty nicely, but the way the clip is positioned, I find a little bit uncomfortable. Regardless of how you're holding it. The blade is 3 3/4 inches long. The overall length on this is 8 3/4 inches. You've got FRN handles, so basically, you know, plastic like the Griptilian. It's 5.9 ounces in weight, which is not bad. It's a little heavier than some people like to carry around. Not a huge fan of lockback designs, but it's not a bad lockback. It's pretty secure. Takes a little bit more force than I prefer to close a knife up. I did some online shopping, and I found this for $79.99 from Knife Center. I'm sure you can find it for a little bit cheaper if you look around. I think this would be a good candidate for some aftermarket scales, though. Might improve the look of it a little bit. Yeah, there's just, I don't know. I was disappointed with this knife. It's a good knife. It's a solid knife. It's just not my thing. So rolling into June 16, June was the land navigation box, and there was, you know, an even hit and miss. Some items in that box were awesome, and some were kind of lame, like the glow-in-the-dark star map bandana that didn't really glow in the dark at all. But that came with the soft chopper by Sniper Blade Works, and this knife is awesome. I love this knife. It is a good, sturdy, solid, heavy knife. One complaint I had, if you remember watching the video, was that I thought the handle was a little bit too thin, you know, for the leverage and the weight of the knife, so I wrapped it with 550 cord, and I think I did that on the video, but I did a whole review on this knife separately, and I always say I'll put a link somewhere over here and then I forget to do it, but I'm going to try really hard to remember to put a link to that review right around here somewhere. But I really like this knife as like a good solid whacking through the brush type knife. So here's a closer look at that. I really like the soft chopper. It's just a big, heavy chunk of carbon steel. Very, very effective at what it does, and what it does is just chop through stuff. It's 1075 carbon steel, which is interesting because usually 1095 is the steel they use for things like this. Your blade is 9 inches long. It's 15 inches overall. It weighs 17.4 ounces, so pretty heavy. That's about a pound and an ounce and a half or so. You've got micarta scales, which you can't see on mine because I wrapped them with, well, you can see a little bit, but I wrapped them with the 550 cord to give me just a little bit better grip there. Believe it or not, yeah, these things run about $150. I found it for $145 on Blade HQ, and they were all sold out. So you got to kind of hunt these things down. But I've been a real big fan of this one since I got it. It's got a really nice cutting edge. It really just, the weight of it is really good. You know, the curve on the blade there lets you put a lot of leverage and force right where you want it. And it's a good size too. It's not too big. It's not unwieldy. I've really enjoyed using it. And I'd like to get in an environment where I can use it some more. I've even used it in the kitchen a little bit as just chopping through some meat and everything. It's really good at that kind of stuff. So the soft chopper, except for the sheath, I'd really like a better sheath, but it got very high marks in my opinion. Really enjoy this knife. Yeah, it feels like the kind of thing where you'd be like, now that's a knife, you know? Sheath is my only complaint. I've never been a big fan of nylon sheaths, especially when you have just like that one belt loop option. But great knife. July was the fire starting box, which just had a lot of cool stuff to start fires. A little repetitive though, but a lot of cool ways to start fire. And it came with the Ontario Wrap 3. This sheath holds on really, really well. Yeah, there it goes somewhere. It's not fancy. It's just a good, solid little survival knife. This one's gotten some use. I don't know if you can see right here, but you'll see when we take a closer look at this one right now. So while the Rat 3 is a relatively small knife, you do get really good control. It's got a thin blade, so if you're doing any kind of fine slicing or carving, it's really good for that. It's relatively light compared to a lot of the other fixed blades that I'm looking at today. You can see there's a little bit of rust forming there, but that's carbon steel, and I'll be honest, I haven't done a lot of really good taking care of this thing. It's been used a bit and then just put away. The lightweight really makes it easy to forget you have it, in a good way. I took this for a little hike with me, and when it wasn't in my hand and it was just attached to a belt, I didn't even know it was there. You know, just almost like no weight whatsoever for a knife like this. Very, very nicely sharpened edged right out of the package. It feels super tough for a knife of its size. The scales are very, very comfortable. You know, one of the great things about micarta, I hate working with it because it's so tough, but it's got that real tough, you know, feel, but at the same time, a very kind of a grippy feel as well. So, you know, you don't generally lose your grip on it. 1095 carbon steel, 3.9 inch blade, so just a hair under 4 inches, 7.9 inches overall, 5.9 ounces, which doesn't feel like it remotely, not even a little bit. It barely feels like it's 2 or 3 ounces, right? Like, honestly. You've got your micarta scales, like I said, and I found this on Amazon Prime, free shipping for $74.80. You can get a nylon sheath for it, but it comes with this Kydex sheath with the Tech-Lock, which is one of my favorite kinds of sheath systems. It's a very solid system, and it holds the knife in beautifully. You saw, like, when I finally put enough force to pop the knife out, the sheath went flying. So, excellent knife for the money. If you're not into carrying a bigger, heavier knife, I think this would be really good for you. I've always been a fan of Ontario knives. They've made some really good ones. I have, way back in my early days, back in the Army Air Force standard issued survival knife, and I have one that has been with me since I was a one-striper in the Army, and it's still with my gear, packed in the garage, ready to go. August gave us the Gone fishing box, and they switched it up because the knife of the month wasn't really a knife. The knife of the month was this Sog Power-Play Multi-Tool, which is actually a really decent tool. Kind of a mid-range, but I like it because it's very easy for one-handed opening, which I appreciate now more than ever. It comes with a set of drivers, a set of bits that are in this nice little package. So you have those, you don't have to buy them separately. And it has not one blade but two. It's got a straight edge and a serrated edge, which we'll take a closer look at now. The Power-Play with its little ratcheting gear system for opening is one of the few that open in this manner that you can do very easily one-handed, which I really, really like. I love the one-handed opening. It's almost like the butterfly knife of multi-tools. One of the really unique features here is that it comes with the bits, and you don't need a separate attachment to use the bits because they fit right here in the top of the pliers. So you just place your standard 1/4 inch bit right there and squeeze, and that's what holds them in, which is really, really cool. So it comes with this selection of bits. You can use any 1/4 inch bit in there, and you're ready to go. As long as the harder you squeeze the handle, the tighter they're in there. But even if you're not squeezing the handle, they're in there. So that's a really nice feature right there. Very convenient. All of the tools lock when they open up, and these are the lock releases for there. So to start with, on the one side, you have a straight blade, and you have a fully serrated blade. So 2 blades right there. So you've got your can opener / little flathead screwdriver, Phillips head. You've got a larger flathead screwdriver right here, hiding behind the serrated edge with a can opener. Gotta open it to get to the inside, but you've got an awl. You've got a 3-sided file with different textures on it. You've got a very microfine flathead and then a large flathead on that side. So some fairly useful tools altogether on this multi-tool. Overall, your tools and the body, it's made of 15 MOV steel. The blades themselves are 2.75 inches long. You've got 18 tools in total, weighing in at 8.1 ounces. You can get this Amazon Prime free shipping for $54, which is a pretty good price for a multi-tool, with all this. The nylon sheath, by the way, which full Molly style, comes with a holder for the bits and everything, a selection of bits, and everything that it includes there. September was the month of water purification, which I like that box a lot. A lot of cool items in there. I haven't used them all, but I really appreciated everything that came in it. And the knife of the month really impressed me because Spydercos are well known for making great reliable blades. And you got a Spyderco Delica 4 with the full flat ground blade. They're like one of the lightest weight, most dependable knives. I've carried a Delica, not the 4, the full flat ground, but an older model through several deployments as like a backup knife. Excuse me. This is a really solid, a small but solid knife. VG10 steel is great steel. So let's look at the specs on this guy a little bit. So what can I say about a Spyderco Delica that hasn't already been said? Great little knife. VG10 Japanese steel is fairly unique. I haven't seen it on a lot of knives besides Spyderco's, but they use it a lot. It's very, very corrosion resistant steel, and you can find a lot of videos online where they test that out. Very, very lightweight. One of the few knives where I don't mind the FRN handle. Lockback design, which I've already talked about, not a big fan, but Spyderco uses it on a lot of good knife designs. Your clip, left, right hand, tip up, tip down. Easy one hand opening with the thumb hole right there. 2 7/8 inch blade, 7 1/8 inch overall. Very lightweight, 2.5 ounces. Kind of expensive for a knife this size. Found it at Knife Center for $69.97. You can find it probably a little cheaper on Amazon if you look around. And you got your choice for different colored handles, you know, if you want different colors. You can also find it, this is the full flat ground blade, you can also find it in a 3/4 grind too if you want something that looks a little beefier. I don't really know if it's going to do that much more for you in terms of strength and durability, but Spyderco Delica is really, really nice for a small little EDC blade or a backup. And, you know, from more of a kind of artsy-fartsy kind of view, I like that the blue knife came with the water box. Yeah, they matched that up. But this was a good, solid knife to put in that box. It's just, I guess it's hard to match a knife to that theme. So this was just a good choice. This is a really solid choice for any BattlBox.